brushed my hair. I haven't brushed my teeth, and these are my jammies, so we're good.
Me too. Got my sweatshirt.
Thumbs up. Look at the burn I got.
Ow! What'd you do?
Thoughtlessly, I was doing something while my tea kettle was on, my electric tea kettle, right? And I went to reach for something, and the steam, like, immediately. Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is the worst burn I've ever had.
My mother, when I was young, same thing. Steam. She had to go to the hospital if the burn was so bad.
Well, they said, like, if it's over 3 inches, maybe, but this is not 3 inches. And, you know, I put it under running water for 15 minutes, so it didn't get a blister. But yesterday, a little patch of skin peeled off. Oof. So I don't even have a Band-Aid big enough to put on it. Maybe I should go get one. That might be something, because it does hurt.
It looks like a self-inflicted hickey.
Yeah, right. It hurts a lot. I mean, it's crazy.
I bet.
Yeah. Just that patch of open skin in the middle.
Yeah, it's ugly.
I can get closer if you want to see more.
I can show you some.
What the hell was that?
I was trying to find a good one.
You okay?
A good one what? A good leg?
A good fart?
What the hell?
Are you wearing pants, Walt?
Yes, I am.
Let's hope.
First week of May.
I know what you're going to say.
12 tick bites.
Oh.
12?
My legs itched all the time.
Oh, my God.
It was like poison ivy. Cecilia picked one off, put it on a Kleenex, and it ran across the Kleenex after it came out of my body.
So when you say you had bites, you had 12 ticks attached to you?
Yeah, I mean, they...
Like attached to your skin?
Or the same tick biting you 12 times.
12 times. There you go.
One really hungry tick.
Good one, Grace.
Yeah. Well, I mean, usually you don't find them instantly.
Right.
A lot of them are the size of a poppy seed.
You don't?
There's baby ones that are the size of a poppy seed that are just as deadly as...
Huh.
I found a 2.5-hour podcast about ticks.
And you listened to the whole thing.
I didn't. I couldn't. I fast forwarded to the, the advice part.
The good parts.
They don't fly and they don't hop. So if you get a tick on you, it's because you rubbed against a weed or a piece of grass or something.
But like you said, you always wear pants. That's what I don't get.
I've pulled my socks up, so tucked the pants in. I've done everything.
That's so weird.
We're walking in a field with some pretty high grass sometimes, so... But anyway, the public service announcement.
So maybe stop walking in the field?
Could, but that's a major part of the morning ritual of the dog.
Okay. All right.
I found Sawyer's insect repellent. It's called Clothing, Gear, and Tents. And you spray it on clothing, and it's good for 6 weeks or 6 washings, whichever comes first. So I got a complete set of, long sleeve t-shirt, pants, socks, sprayed heck out of everything. Since then, I haven't had a single bite.
Oh, that's good.
It's amazing. I mean, I never expected it to work. I have cancer, but I don't have...
I was going to say, there's PFAS. It's the basis of it all is PFAS, and so you
Stop.
There's something in it called permethrin, which they claim is not so terrible. So
not as terrible as Lyme disease, I guess.
Right.
You're not putting it on your skin, right? Just your clothes.
But, if it gets wet or you're sweating or something, I figure some of it must come off. So I started a ritual, come back in the garage, take my clothes off, take a shower, fresh clothes on, leave everything outside.
Every day.
Every day, yeah.
You could remember when, like, you were a kid and your mom would put bread bags in your boots so your feet wouldn't get wet. You remember that? Your mom didn't do that?
No.
Nope. I didn't grow up in Buffalo, so.
Okay.
Where people bag their feet regularly.
Where it's a lot more snow than we had in Manhattan.
A lot of people used to do that. They'd take a bread bag and you'd put it on your foot and then you'd put your foot in the boot. Well, I was just going to say, you could do that with a whole big bag for yourself.
Buffalonians are known as foot baggers, aren't they? Or something like that.
Foot baggers. That's another slightly obscene phrase, right?
You were born in Buffalo, Grace.
Yep.
You're a lifelong resident
Well,
now?
I moved away for 20 years.
Right,
Yeah.
20 years. But I guess that's something that only done in...
No, come on. I know other people did this.
You never went to Coney Island, BAYLIE, with bread bags on your feet?
Well, here's the thing. In New York,
No, I took taxi cabs everywhere.
yeah, in New York, it wasn't the same. The climate change hadn't brought storms your way continually, right? New York was milder then.
No, we got pretty good storms.
Did
we
you?
get snow. Yeah, we get snow.
Yeah, I thought
Semi-consistent.
maybe, though, like you didn't get the ones like they get now,
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, we used to have, when we did get a big giant one, of course, the whole city would shut down, and it was just incredibly silent. It was the strangest things. And we go out in the street, and we just stand there and listen to the sound of nothing because there were no buses, no trucks, no cars, and
Yeah.
and then occasionally one of my brothers would grab the fender of a car like going by.
Wow.
And, like ride behind it.
Wow.
Like skiing almost behind it in their boots with no bread bags.
All right.
It was fun.
Bread bags.
And the bread bags were for what again?
To keep your feet from getting totally wet. To keep them, in your winter boots. You'd put them in because I guess, maybe winter boots weren't what they are now. I don't know. I mean, your feet would get, I don't know.
Wow.
I remember when I lived in Boston, they'd get half an inch of snow and the entire city was
Really?
black.
In Buffalo?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Boston.
No. In Boston.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I remember, when I lived there, they really didn't get much snow ever. And that's why I guess I thought maybe New York was the same. Because I know now,
right.
like there's a dozen storms a year.
Well, we get it, but it wouldn't last very long because of cars and because of traffic. And it would just become slush in the streets. But it was always in the park. The snow was always in the park. So it was nice.
That would be pretty. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, how did your cataract surgery go?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fine. It was kind of annoying that they couldn't do both eyes at once. You have to go to have it done, and then you have to have a follow-up the next day, and then you have a 2-week follow-up after that. And it just took too much of my time, too.
How come you're wearing glasses?
Yeah.
Because I got the Medicare version.
What?
No, really.
Seriously?
When you go in for a consultation, they say the Medicare version is free. The next step up is $3,500, and the step beyond that, which is guaranteed, they put in lenses that make you 20/20. That's $5,500 or something. So I said Medicare will be fine, the Medicare version. All it really does is increase the brightness of things and takes away those halos, Grace.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God for insurance because
Right.
I didn't have to wear contacts anymore.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah,
love
I
it
would have
still.
gone for that, but I'm not going to. And I got Medicare glasses.
Yeah.
Then afterwards, you get one pair of glasses.
I could tell.
Freebies?
They're like George Burns wore in the 70s.
Yeah. Right.
And, oh, God.
They say, here's a box that has 4 glasses in it. You can choose one of
Take
these.
your pick.
That is funny.
So socialized medicine.
I was going to say that sounds like Soviet era.
Right.
Medicine.
That's where we are.
You can have any pair of glasses that look like this.
The most annoying part was I told you wearing the eye patch.
Patch.
This
Yeah.
hard thing, and so I got the parrot and everything, and like the pirate thing.
That would have been funny to walk around.
That must have been fun around your house, right?
Cecilia said this sex was a little disturbing, but other than that,
Yeah, I bet. You kept saying, Polly want a cracker? Arg!
He's a stuffed parrot.
the rented parrot. So
How much time between the two cataract surgeries?
a week.
Oh, just a week?
Yeah,
Wow, you were busy with follow-ups and everything, yeah.
I was, and then I had a whole dental thing, and then I got new cancer, skin cancer, and it's pretty exciting.
Did that get taken care of?
It's getting taken care of next week.
Okay.
I got
My mother's had a bunch of those.
And so's my mom.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bunch of stuff that if you're aging, you're going to get
They
it.
just keep burning that shit off, right?
I only noticed it on my arm because I had the one on my head that looked the same.
Right.
You would never pick it out.
What did
I mean,
it look like?
It was like the smallest of pimples. Yeah. Well, so far this has been all about my tick bites and
Yeah.
and surgeries.
Okay, let's move on from that.
So what else has been happening?
Well, so Wally, is it true that you are lonely there in Clarksville?
No,
Cooksville? Cookville?
Cookville.
No, well, we are lonely, but we like it that way.
Oh, you do?
But I just meant we were lonely on this podcast because of nobody listening.
Oh, I get it.
That's what I
that.
meant. That's what I told Katie. Please
I
help.
well, I think of us as having millions of listeners, so I feel like I'm talking to the world right now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Do you now?
Yeah. Delusional.
Aren't you supposed to focus on one person when you're public speaking and pretend you're talking to that person?
I don't know. Are you?
I thought you were supposed to, assuming that everyone's naked in the audience. Is that the other one?
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what else? Has Chuck been staying busy?
He's busy right now. He's weeding. He's outside weeding.
God love him.
Excellent.
God love him.
We had 2 graduations for Jack this week. His high school graduation on Sunday night, and then his...
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then his sort of tech school ceremony was on Tuesday night, so it's been busy.
And what is his tech part? What is he focusing on?
His program is in conservation. He was learning all about
that's cool.
Conservation, trees and soil, but mostly how to move it.
Yeah.
So he's been...
He could be like a forest ranger, right? I mean...
He could
do that?
There's no money in it, but he could, yeah.
If he wanted to.
Moving it? What do you mean?
So he's getting into being a heavy equipment operator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for a second I thought maybe that it was his tech thing. He was, maintaining and repairing like huge machines or something like that.
He's just learning to drive them. He actually starts a full-time job tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good.
Has he always been a heavy equipment operator?
He's always liked to drive something. He was a real John Deere equipment fan when he was a kid, and it just he sort of fell into this. He didn't really want to go to the tech school because it had a reputation of being, the school where the bad kids went, or the
sure, like shop class in high school,
right? Or the kids who needed extra help and that kind of thing. And that was at our school was one of those high ranking districts that wants all their kids to go to college so it looks good and et cetera, et cetera. So it wasn't really pushed at all, so we kind of said, you know what, he's a terrible student and he needs to do something else. So he went, junior year he went every afternoon, and then this year he went every morning, 5 days a week, 2 hours.
That's great.
Like a private organization that runs
It's through BOCES, the Board of Cooperative Educational Services, yeah.
I never knew what that stood for.
Remember those videos, the construction videos that were so popular? Did you watch those?
Oh my God. And I did too.
So you have a secret passion for
that must have been fun
for driving heavy equipment.
Did he see that whole Killdozer documentary then?
I don't know that one.
About the guy who there was a whole backstory to this guy, but what he ended up doing was buying what kind of machine was it? Some kind of big farm machine.
Okay.
And basically reinforcing it with steel panels, and he put like a turret and everything, and because of his whole backstory he decided to go and take out the town that he was in because he had a grievance against the town, and there is this video of him going through the town and taking out everything. I mean, it was crazy.
I bet he was driving a combine because those are the big giant farm equipment.
I don't know what it was. I can't recall. Or maybe maybe he bought a tank. I don't know what it was. He bought it like at some auction.
I think that's what it was. I remember a video of a tank.
Maybe that was it, but he had to reinforce this whole thing, so that's why I was thinking maybe it wasn't a tank, because why would you have to reinforce a tank?
Right.
Like that was his business. He was like a metal welder kind of guy, and so he put like these inch thick steel plates around it, and it was nuts. Right. It was nuts.
Tank is not tanky enough.
I guess not. Not when you can do that.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah.
How about the Thomas the Tank Engine? Did he watch those?
Not so much. He wasn't much of a train guy.
It was a construction heavy equipment.
It was more,
Bob the Builder kind of guy.
Yeah, he watched that a little bit. Yeah, but
that's good. I think that's good. I'm anti-college.
Well, it's. I've talked to so many people when I tell them what
Sorry, Grace, but that's how it is.
I'll tell you something in a second. Go ahead, Bailey.
Well, when I tell people what Jack's doing, and they say, "God, I wish I did something like that." I went to college and I pissed away 4 years, and so many people just wish they'd had that option, or if it was presented to them. And it's gotten more prevalent now, I think, which is great.
It's a big trend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we need skilled workers. We need skilled people.
College
A friend of his did the electrician program, and he's going to lineman school in January. And
I know someone who just did that too. Isn't that funny? This woman I work with, her son just went through it in Georgia. I think there's only one place in the country where you can go for that.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is where he's going.
Yeah.
People who can actually do something.
Yeah. They're not knowledge workers.
But actually have a skill.
The people you call and they'll say, "Oh, well, I'll be there between 12 and 5," and then they don't show up.
Yeah.
Right.
They charge you $200 an hour.
Right.
Right. Yeah, no, Luis got kicked out.
No.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What happened?
Well, I mean, I think I mentioned to you maybe his first semester grades were, and I kept saying to him, you have a scholarship, you've got to keep up your grade point average. And I don't know, I do believe him when he says he went through all that stuff in high school where he got diagnosed with ADHD, and I thought he was going to, get kicked out of high school. And, so he was under a lot of pressure in high school for sure. Right. And, so I think he was very burned out. Number two, he, did not want to take all those core courses, which, and these were bogus core courses too, because one was religion, one was ethics, these bogus courses had nothing to do with what he wants to do. And then also he was, freaked out about having to get this and that visa and this and that TIE and blah, 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 blah. And these are things that are very hard for him to do on his own. And so anyway, that was, first semester. And then going into second semester, he said after his birthday, he just stopped going to class.
So when was that?
March, early March. Yeah. So right after he got home on May 15th, he got an email from them. It's like, don't come back. I kept telling him, and he's like, well, my friends told me no one gets kicked out of SLU. I'm like, well, your friends were wrong. So
when he came home, did you know that he hadn't gone to class for 2 months?
He didn't even know.
Wow.
I consciously never asked him about it because at this point, I am not going to sit there and ride herd on him. You know what I mean? I'm not going to.
No.
This is your deal, bud. So he got into another school, and they said if he all he had to do was kind of reignite his application, and he would still get the same financial aid package and all that. But there's another school there that he wants to go to, so he applied to that school, and now he just has to take their admission test, and so he's going to try it again.
And where's that, in Vietnam or
in Spain? No, in Spain.
I want to go to another school.
I mean, essentially,
Japan.
I mean, it's weird to me. Like, I'm just going to tell him, look, try it for another year, but if the same thing happens, don't even bother, just drop out completely until you are ready to do something, but this
what's appealing about this other school? Is there something he wants to
there's a
take
bunch
there?
It's a European school, so you start out doing all your major work immediately, the only class that he did even remotely well in this past year was in his major. So, because that's what he's interested in. And this school is, I don't know, there's something about it that he likes the idea. It's just full of Europeans and, it's, I don't know, he knows some people who went there.
Was the other school mostly American kids?
Well, it was an American, it's St. Louis University in Madrid, so it was many Americans, and then also you'd get a lot of what's the word, semester away kids too. So I think it was more though the core courses that he just didn't want to do, and had I known better when I was in college, I might have felt the same way. But I honestly think, I talked to him before he went away about a gap year, and I really wish he had done that. You know, it would have saved me some money.
What about now?
What about now? Doing a gap year?
Doing a gap year now.
Well, you know, basically he did one, essentially, right? I mean, and it's weird in a way. Like, I sort of feel like his schooling is having been in Spain and making a home there, and you know what I mean. Like, all that part of it went really well.
Right.
That's what he really cared about.
And there was a lot of learning that went on in that
Right.
year. So
Well, and it's funny because, you know, I know so many people whose kids did that, the same thing in terms of like, well, just stopped going to class, or, you know, like I know people whose kids did that, but they were at like Genesee Community College and they were at, you know, UB. And so in some ways there was like nothing gained from it, you know, but like, I feel like he did gain a lot. He, you know, that's what he really, well, that's what he really wants to do, you know, is so to me, like once I got over the shock of it, you know, I mean, that's why I've been sort of thinking about it all along. He is just not a student, you know. It'll be very interesting to see what happens at, you know, this new place.
and that's not a failure of him or the system, really. It's just
No.
some systems
He
don't
would
work.
he would say it's the system, you know, like that's what he would always do when he was under pressure in high school. He'd start railing against the American education system. It was like, you know, just because you are having issues does not mean the whole system is shit.
The system works for some people.
For some people.
But it's not meant to be, well, it was meant to be all-inclusive, and it shouldn't have been, probably.
Right.
So what is it that he really wants to do, you said?
I don't know. I mean, the only thing that he loves doing is boxing. Well, and then he also loves like, and this is not, you know, a joke. He loves car racing, and it's like, you know, and I mean, that's a huge business, you know, and you could get into that. Not as a driver, but, you know.
Right. There's no room for drivers, but there's thousands of positions for the industry.
How are our phones?
Mine is good.
Shit.
Did it stop?
Let's see.
How much do you have? I have 33 minutes right now.
24.
Yeah, that's not too bad. We stopped when I started babbling, so you're good. You don't need that part.
That's so strange. It's the first time that's happened.